Hello guys, it's DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time we have Hero 555109 versus EM Player, and this is going to be a post-SUDA match, and let's go ahead and hop right in. We will see EM Player win the rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and decide to go first. 42 versus 40, opening hands, we have Ogdoadic, Daybreak, Imperm, Nuya, Kuzanji, and Prayers. They have Tristalos, Called by, Talents, Valor, and Terratop. Okay, so we have the Crystron deck going up against the Mitsurugi deck, and also playing these cards in it. I don't know how big of a package they play. It could just be like a small package. The quick play, I guess I'll read over like the quick play in this card, because we haven't really gone over these cards in a long time on the channel. So this card says, tribute 1 reptile for cost. For every 2 levels that was tributed, or that the tributed monster had on the field, you can special summon up to 1 token, and then it is just reptile tokens, doesn't matter if they're level 2 or 0 attack. Then during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished reptile monsters, shuffle it into the deck, then you can send a reptile from the deck to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of this once per turn. And then this one says, you can send this card from the hand to the graveyard for cost, send 1 light reptile from the deck to the graveyard. If this card is normal summon or special summon, you can add one of the engine speller traps from the deck to the hand, and you can only use each effect of this once per turn. And then we'll read over the Tristalos, since we haven't gone over the Crystron cards yet, the new ones. So it's a level 2 tuner. It says, when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Crystron monster from your deck except for a copy of itself. Then immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon 1 machine monster using that monster you control. So the one you summon, you have to synchro with. And then it says, you can banish this card from the graveyard for cost, destroy 1 synchro you control, and if you do, special summon 2 Crystron monsters from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon for the extra for the rest of the turn except for machines. And then this can pop the Crystron synchros, which then those will activate their effects, or you can, pop something like Chow Fang, if you play like the cash cards and go search out a tuner. But okay, the reason why they play Terratop is because you can make the Cherubini with it. So Terratop into the Attack on Tomborg, special summon out Attack on Tomborg, link those off in the Cherubini, and then Cherubini effect go dump. I'll dump the Smyger. So as you can target 1 face-up card you control, you can not special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for machine synchro monsters. Also destroy that card, and if you do, special summon 1 Crystron tuner from the deck. And then its other effect is, you can banish this card from the graveyard to add 1 Crystron speller trap from the deck to hand, and now you can only use 1 effect of this per turn and only once that turn. So if you pop the summon from deck, you can't search. So you're pretty much always just trying to go for the search effect off this to grab inclusion, because that's a very good card. And then normal summon out Tristalos, so that way if they try to hand trap us, we can use this to be able to play. Maybe we should have special Terratop. I guess they were never hand trapping us at those points. I guess maybe if we special Terratop, search this, then normal this, then special this, that makes it to where if they drop Fualos when we have those out, we could chain this effect to synchro. But there's not very many good synchros to make at that point. But I guess you kind of, you probably don't even do that, because you want them to Fualos, that way you can Called by Talents them. But activate the Smyger effect, we'll search out the Crystron inclusion. Continue a spell. When this card is activated, add a Crystron card from the deck to the hand except for a copy of itself. Then, the first time each of your Crystron monsters will destroy a battle, it is not destroyed. Then it says you can banish this card from your graveyard, target a Crystron monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and you can only use each effect of this card once per turn, and you can only activate this card from the hand once per turn. So now they go activate, go ahead search out the Soufflehole, or Soufflehole. So this is a really good card. This card says, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target a Crystron card you control, destroy it. And if you do, special summon this card out from the hand or graveyard. Also, you are locked into machines from the extract for that turn, for the rest of the turn. Then it says, if this card is normal summon or special summon, you can dump 2 Crystron cards with different names from the deck to the graveyard, except for a copy of itself. So that's really good. And also level 5, so you can make stuff like Cyber Dragon Infinity. So they're going to go activate, pop the inclusion, special out, and then effect to go double imperm. So we're going to dump the Tyzaverin. And this card has the first effect as the Smyger, where you can target a face-up card you control, destroy it, special out a Crystron tuner from deck, but you can also banish it to search for a Crystron monster instead of a speller trap. And then once again, you can only use 1 of those effects per turn. Then they're going to go ahead and dump the cluster also. So you have to dump this, because this is your way to search it, this and this are your way to search it. But if you dump it to the graveyard, the new Synchro 7 can add it back. And this card says, Crystron cards you control cannot be banished by opponent's card effects, so SP, Chaos Angel, stuff like that won't work. Then it says you could target 1 face-up card on the field, or 2 if you control a Crystron Synchro monster. Shuffle 1 Crystron card from your graveyard or banishment into the deck, except for a copy of the trap, which you only play 1 of it anyways. And if you do, destroy the targeted cards, and you can only use this effect once per turn. So now they will go ahead and make the Synchro 7, the Eli Skeletas. I can't say these cards' names. And then this card says, monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense. And then you can only use the following effects of this card once per turn. If this card is Synchro 7, you can add 1 Crystron card from your graveyard or banish to your hand. Then, if the Synchro 7 cards destroy a battle or card effect, you can special 1 Crystron monster from your graveyard or banished. So, activate the effect, try to add back the trap, and they go ahead and imperm that. And now, not that effect. Okay, we're going to go ahead and activate the effect to go search. That'll grab out Inclusion. That's not how this works. This only grabs out monsters. Looks like they did not know that. Okay. Sure. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and activate the Tristalos, which banishes for cost, pop, and then special summon out 2 Crystrons from deck. And then they bring out 2 Sulflinier. This card says, while this card is in the hand or graveyard, you can discard a Crystron card except for a copy of itself for cost. Special summon this card in defense. Then you have to destroy 1 card you control. Then, if this card on the field is destroy a battle or card effect, you can special a Crystron monster from your deck in defense. So, you can just summon itself out, pop itself, and then go ahead and summon out like the one that dumps 2 from deck and combo off that. But they're going to go ahead and activate the Synchro effect to special summon back out the Tristalos, then make the Nova, and then go ahead and make the Infinity. Activate the Inclusion effect, banish, special summon back out from the graveyard, and then go set Called Bypass. So you want to try to end with Tristalos plus a level 5 or a level 2 tuner, because the main Synchro you make for an interruption is the Synchro 9 that will be able to banish 3 monsters from your opponent's field and or graveyard. And then they draw Saji, normal summon out, and then effect, try to go ahead and search. This will probably try to grab out Lily Break, which can Foolish Burial a reptile from the deck to the graveyard. Then if you have 5 or more reptiles in the graveyard, you can special summon 1 of them back. So they go ahead and Veiler that. And then in response, Chain Prayers. Then they go ahead and Infinity Stop that. So we can go ahead and grab out Water Lily. This also has to detach, then activate Water Lily. Go ahead and dump the new. This card says, if you control, well, I guess we'll read over the full effect. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard for cost and a dark reptile monster from the deck to the graveyard. Then, if you control no monsters or you control an Ogdoadic monster, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also, you cannot special summon monsters except for reptile monsters while this card is face up in the monster zone. So now, yeah, they said read real quick, and then effect, go ahead, special summon itself out. And then activate the Daybreak to go ahead tribute, and then try to bring out 2 tokens. That is fine. And then activate the effect to banish and go dump. Or wait. Oh yeah, we gotta put back and then dump. So put back and then go ahead and dump the Curious, which this one says, while this card's in the graveyard, you contribute 1 monster for cost, special summon this card, then your opponent can special summon 1 monster from their graveyard but negate its effects. And then, if this card is special summoned, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Ogdoadic monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field, and you can only use each effect of that once per turn. So now, activate the effect, tribute, special summon out, and then they can go ahead and special summon back out from their graveyard. Okay, in response to, okay, so they don't try to special summon 1 back out from grave, but in response to the effect to try to summon back out from the graveyard, they go ahead and chain the Tristalos effect to special summon out Citri from the deck, and then go ahead and use those 3 monsters to make the Quarion Gondrax. Then they summon out, and then effect to go ahead and banish all 3 of their monsters, and they admit defeat. So on to the next game, we will see Hero go first. Opening hands, we have the Great Personification, Night Sword Serpent, Prayers, Saji, and Daybreak. They have Sulflinier, Droplet, Tysverden, Schmear, and Veiler. So Droplet being able to like send these cards is pretty good here because they all have graveyard effects. So now they will go Normant, Saji effect, and then this is like something that you typically want to stop because getting access to the ritual spell is really good. But they have Prayers that they can dodge it, and they also have Daybreak that can dodge it. So it's like kind of tough. Like you really want to stop it, but they can also dodge it. It kind of reminds me of like the Memento deck. Then they're going to go ahead, grab out Ritual Spell, activate Ritual Spell, go ahead, tribute the Saji plus Night Sword Serpent, bring out the Omnino from the deck, and then new Chain Link Night Sword Serpent effect, special summon itself out, activate Prayers, tribute the Ritual Monster, search out for Futso, and then special summon back out Saji from the graveyard, lose 800 life points, and then activate Omnino effects, so go ahead and search out for the Ritual Spell, and then special itself out. Overlay for King of the Feral Imps, King of the Feral Imps effect, detach, go search out the Nunu from the decks of the hand, and then activate the Ritual Spell. Go ahead and tribute 2 from deck to summon 1 from hand. So we're going to dump the Naya and the Zoha. So Naya is the one that you can summon this card from the hand to graveyard for cost, and a light reptile from the decks of the graveyard. Then if it's summoned, you can add the spell or trap. And then the Zoha says if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard or special summon from the graveyard, you can activate this effect. Your opponent draws 1, and if they do, you can add 1 engine monster from the deck to the hand, except for a copy of Zoha. Then each player sends a card from their hand to the graveyard. Then if this card is in the graveyard, you can send 1 card from the hand to the graveyard and add this card back to the hand. So they go ahead and dump those, summon out the Futso, and then go ahead and discard the Nunu from the hand to dump the Kuzanji. Okay, that's fine, and then just go ahead and link off, make Lizard Dose effect, banish Night Sword Serpent, draw into the Reptilian Kotal. So this card's pretty cool. You can also search it off King of the Feral Imps. It says if you control a dark reptile monster, you can special summon this card from the hand. Then, if your opponent controls any monsters with 0 attack, you can special summon up to an equal number of reptilian monsters from your hand. Then if this card would be used as a secret material for a reptile monster, you can also treat it as a non-tuner. So now activate Daybreak, tribute the Futso, and go ahead and summon out 4 tokens. And then they can go Futso effect, go ahead, search, and summon itself out. So that'll grab out the Prayers from the decks of the hand, and then link off to go up into the Cosmic Slicer Zerl. So it takes 2+ reptile monsters. And then it says monsters your opponent controls with A counters are changed to defense position. Also, neither player can activate their effects. You can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. If this card is link summoned, you can add 1 card from the decks of the hand that has an effect that places A counters on it. And then its other effect is you can remove 2 A counters from anywhere on the field for cost, and immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon a reptile monster. So this is going to go ahead and search the trap. So go ahead and grab out the Planet Pollunt Virus, which this card, I actually looked it up. I'm pretty sure, well, I haven't looked it up in the last few days, but I think it's like a $7 card. It's only a rare from an old set. So if you do plan on playing this deck, you should probably get this card sooner than later. Otherwise, like, the card will probably just be really inflated in price. I don't know if you actually like need to play this kind of stuff, but this is definitely an option. It's a very strong option because the Planet card says tribute an alien monster, destroy all face-up monsters without an A counter that your opponent controls. Then, until the end of your opponent's 3rd turn after this card activation, place an A counter on each monster they summon. So you can use this. You can go ahead and tribute an alien, and then this will make it to where neither player can activate their effects. So pretty much like your opponent can't activate any of their monster effects on the field, and they're all switched to defense. So it's pretty much a babushka. And then you have Futso that can keep summoning back out the reptiles, so that can get you back into the alien stuff, because this itself is not an alien. So now from here, they go banish Daybreak, put back the Serpent, and go dump the Aeron. And this card says, while it's in the graveyard, contribute 2 monsters for cost, special summon this card, and if your opponent adds a card or cards to their hand, except during the draw phase or damage step, you can send 1 random card from their hand to the graveyard, which this is also really strong because you have another effect that does basically the same thing. So you have 2 hand rips while your opponent tries playing. Then it says, if a monster or monsters your opponent controls is sent to the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can add a light or dark reptile monster from your deck or grave to the hand, except for a copy of itself, and you can only use each effect of it once per turn. So now activate, tribute 2 tokens, special summon out, and then activate Nunu effect. Since they control one of the monsters, they can go ahead and special summon this out, but banish it when it leaves the field, and then link off to go ahead and make the alien, which that's fine, and then go ahead set the virus and the trap and the prayers. So this is the alien that we needed just to go ahead and tribute off. They draw on the lightning storm. So the thing is, even if they lightning storm out this, the Futso can summon it back out. and like relock them again. But they also have Droplet. But we also have the trap that can go ahead and negate that. So they go Lightning Storm, calling back row, but we go ahead and chain Prayer there, so the Droplet will end up working. Go ahead, grab out the Saji, special summon back out from the graveyard. Once again, we're supposed to take 800 damage, which we forgot about again. New Chain Link, Kuzanji 1, Futso 2. Then they go Chain Droplet, well, yeah, Futso 1, level 4, Chain Link 2. Then go ahead, Chain Droplet to send, and they're thinking... They go send 1 to stop this from adding back, but I don't really see how the add back is like that important, to be honest. I guess it's just follow up, but they're gonna get follow up anyways. Okay, then summon out the Futso. Go ahead, search out the Prayer. Yeah, said why add. Yeah, if it's tributed, it searches and then summons out. So we should have just saved our Droplet for like maybe this card and maybe this card. Go ahead and out those two, and we could have also just like sent this because this is a free card to discard because we need it in the graveyard anyways. So activate, banish, go search, grab out the cluster. We had the trap. Okay, interesting. Activate the effect, randomly discard 1 from their hand, and then that will go ahead and hit the... What does it hit? Okay, it hits the one that they want in graveyard anyways, sure. So if I normal summon a monster is popped, it cannot activate its effects. Yeah, as long as they have this here. Wait, did they really not? It's not saying, bro. Like, what? You're gonna tell me you hit the one that adds follow-up over the one that's gonna rip from hand randomly, and search follow-up? Like, this is literally just a better version of this card. So this is literally gonna add follow-up and rip a card from hand. This is making it so that way you cannot activate any of your monster effects and their switch to defense. And this is going to special summon back out, follow up, and a board wipe, and force you to discard. And they said, you know what? I'm actually just going to wing it, and I'm going to negate the only card that doesn't matter. Like, it's so tough. So go ahead, discard, special summon out, and then pop, and then activate the effect. They go Futso effect, and then activate the Aron effect. Go ahead, grab out a Nuya from the deck to the hand. They summon out, we summon out the Omnino. Cannot activate its effect because of the trap. It gets a counter on it. Yeah, they just summon this out. But if they summon this out, shouldn't they have used the effect to go ahead and field wipe? Otherwise, what was the point of summoning this right now? We could have summoned something else, because this is bad on our field. Like, we could have just waited and then board wiped them. Or if we summon it, just board wipe, because you can't tribute it again. Oh, that's not true, because we didn't activate the trap effect. Never mind. So we do have this, the banish, target a reptile monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do tribute one other monster you control, so then we contribute the Omnino off the field. Okay. But yeah, the opponent just goes ahead and admits defeat, realizing that they've made a very bad mistake with their droplet there. So on to the next game, but... yeah, I mean, it was a really good setup. We have Zoa, Nunu, Omnino, Imperm, evenly. They have Phantasma, Talons, Hold, Droplet, and Inclusion. So they go activate Inclusion, go ahead, grab out the Tristalos, normal summon Tristalos, activate Hole, pop, special summon out, and then effect to go ahead and Foolish 2, and they chain Imperm on it, but now they can chain the Tristalos effect, which will allow them to special summon out from the deck, and then they can synchro off. Wait, they summon that? Okay, interesting. I guess that's fine. Yeah, I guess, wait, no, that's not how that works. Especially synchro summon one monster using that monster. So we need to use this monster to synchro, not this monster. Citri requires you to use the monster itself and the one you summon back. This one requires you to use the one that you summon from deck. So yeah, you can see that they messed up pretty bad there. But they could have also summoned like a Citri from deck and then use that plus the level 5 to synchro off. But obviously then you don't get this in rotation, which is a, decent difference there. But then go ahead, synchro effect, add back, and now they go activate the Tristalos effect, banish, pop, summon out 2 from the deck, and then activate the synchro effect to summon back out the Tristalos, overlay into Nova, and then make the Infinity, activate the Smyger effect, go ahead, search out Cluster, and then activate the effect of Tries version, go ahead, grab out Tristalos, and then set Trap, set Droplet, and pass. Okay. I mean, this is like fine. You know, we have Infinity, double pop after we make Synchro 9 that banishes 3 plus a droplet. Okay, they draw into Lightning Storm. So activate Lightning Storm, popping monsters, and they said okay. They just let it go. They didn't want to play in the talents or anything. And then go battle phase, end of battle phase, activate evenly, and then chain cluster. So it says Crystron cards you control cannot be banished by your opponent's card effect. So how does this work against evenly? I actually don't know, because I feel like there's like never been a card that's popular that says Crystron, like cards you control cannot be banished by opponent's card effects. Like, I don't think you could just keep your field though. I don't think that's how it's gonna work. I'm pretty sure, like, if anything, you'd be forced to keep the card that's not a Crystron, right? But okay, they're just gonna go, okay, they're just chaining the pop itself, okay. Then go ahead, banish. I was like, I feel like that just wouldn't work. Then go ahead, discard, and try to dump from the deck. We dump the Overlord. This card says if a monster or monsters is sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard while this card's in the graveyard, you can special summon this card out. Also, you cannot special summon monsters until the end of the next turn, except for reptile monsters. Then it says, if you control this card that is special summoned from the graveyard, you can target one monster in your graveyard except for a copy of itself and special summon it out. And then you can only use each effect of it once per turn. And then graveyard effect to summon itself out, and then that's fine. Normal summon out the Zoa from the hand, and then overlay to make King of the Feral Imps. They go, I was about to say you can't activate this, it's only when your opponent activates something. King of the Feral Imps effect, attach, go ahead and search out the Nua, and then Nua effect, discard to go dump. The Kurus, which is the tribute special, they can summon one back from the graveyard, then we can summon one back from the graveyard. Now we can activate the Overlord effect to summon itself out. Okay, they said play Mold Charming, not Board Breaker. Well, I mean, to be fair, you can't, like, you know, it's not like you're only playing a few non-engine and you could just be like, oh yeah, that should have just been Charmy. It's like, well, sure, like, yeah, if the Veiler in my hand could always just be Fualos going second, like, yeah, I'd prefer that, right? So they chose to not activate this to summon it out, right? Like, this does work like that, right? Yeah, it does work like that. So go ahead, tribute, special summon out, and they can go ahead, summon back out from the graveyard, which they choose not to, which is really interesting, because they could have summoned this, and then Citru would have been able to make, or the Tristalis and the Citru would have been able to make the Synchro 9, but they decided to not set up a triple monster banish. Then activate the effect to go search, they go Tristalis effect to go ahead special, and then Synchro into a blank, basically. They're going to search out Daybreak, we're going to bring out F.A. Dawn Dragster, sure. Like, they could have went for a banish 3 instead. Activate Zoa effect, discard to go ahead and add back. Yeah, this does, right, this does discard, right? Okay, I was going to say, if this tributes, like, that'd be kind of nice. Then activate the effect to go ahead and special summon itself out from the graveyard, then effect to summon back out from the graveyard. And then, yeah, they can go ahead and make a Lizard Dose. Oh, and Lizard Dose is really cool against F.A. Dawn Dragster too, but I guess it doesn't really matter, right? No, because the attack points on this don't matter. It's not like Dark End Dragon, it's the levels of it that matter. So summon it, and then they go activate Phantasme, special summon, and then draw Ash Blossom, Terratop, put back Terratop, Lizard Dose effect, go ahead, banish, draw in the artifact Lancia, which is really good against this deck. They said, yeah, bad decks get there. I mean, sure, right? Sure. Yeah, they're just mad because they're locked in the reptiles, and they can't really do anything important from here on out. But, I mean, hey, their deck did get there. Yeah, I don't know why they're, like, super bad about it, though. It's not like their deck is, like, you know, a Fiendsmith Ryziel deck, right? I mean, you're pulling up with Ogdoadic, you know, Mitsurugi. Like, you're not pulling up with the sauce. Well, this might be the sauce. Who knows? This engine is pretty solid, like the ritual stuff. But we still need to learn how to build it properly. Like, a Ryziel deck, we already know how to build Ryziel, like, perfectly, right? Like, almost perfectly. There's not really that many more optimizations to do to it. While a deck like this has infinite different variants, and none of them are optimized yet. So, it can only improve from here. But the match was about 45 minutes long, and with all that being said, the DB Grinder signing off. Peace, have a nice day, stay safe.